Hi there, Virgo. Welcome to a Tarotscope for the week beginning on the 31st of July. This is Sagittarius Yogini. And before I pick the cards, I just want to say a couple of important points astrologically that are occurring. The first one being the new moon in Leo. Leo is the sign before you. This is the 12th house. Of course, this is a general reading because it depends on your particular chart. Well, I'm not going to get into any of that. But the 12th house is a very, I was going to say an isolated place, but I would call it more solitude than isolation. But sometimes it can be isolation because it can be prisons, but it can be hermitages. And it's a contemplative vibe. And a new moon here could be anything that you initiate or that develops in your life that has to do with spiritual matters. Maybe you find a new yoga center or take a new class during this time. Maybe you're taking a course of studies that is connected to spirituality, or you go on a retreat. The other thing that is big news is the very next day. That's on the 4th of August at 12 degrees of Leo. And then the very next day, we have a Mercury retrograde in your sign. And on the 14th, it goes back into Leo and goes direct on the 28th. So what this means is that when you have this Mercury transit and retrograde from the first to the back to the 12th houses, this is about your conscious, to me, this is about your conscious image versus your unconscious mind. Now, why is this important? Because when we present ourselves to others, which is what the first house is all about, a lot of those things can be coming from an unconscious place. And people, I don't know what a psychologist would say about the unconscious mind. There's also, the subconscious, which I would assign to the 8th house. But to me, I've heard some astrologers also talk about the subconscious mind in the 12th house. But the 12th house is past lives. So a lot of us don't remember our past lives. And therefore, any memory is operating with us being in complete amnesia. So to me, that's totally unconscious. Now, we might have inklings that we've had certain lifetimes, but I'm talking about really remembering clearly things that happened. So something, with Virgo, there tends to be a lot of self-consciousness and criticism, self-criticism, perfectionism present in your psyche. And, not going to get into more of that, but just saying that can inhibit Virgos from being very self-expressive. And that's what the first house can represent, is how do we express ourselves? If we feel like everyone's looking at us and we're like self-conscious to do anything, we are going to be inhibited. And that can affect us in terms of being shy, in terms of projecting insecurity. And there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean you're a bad person or anything, but it could affect your ability to, attract the kind of person you want or the job you want. So you may trace it back to maybe even like things that are holding you back in terms of habits, because the 12th house the 12th house is a house of self-undoing. It's a way that we self-sabotage. So, there's a lot going on at a deeper level in the 12th house. So just be prepared for that. And also just in general, since it's starting in your sign, for anything that you're trying to promote, towards the end of the month, it may go more smoothly and going into September. Okay? All right, now let's pick a few cards here for the week. Okay, this is a very interesting spread that I have spreaded. So the heart of the matter, the theme of this week is the Ace of Wands. I was like, yes, rearing to go, you've got your plans, you're taking action. This is cardinal energy as far as I'm concerned. This reminds me of Aries. Wands is fire energy, but I'm just assuming it's Aries because it's beginnings and Aries is the first sign, but whatever. That vibe of just starting out a new project, a passion project. Page of Wands. Pages can be messages. You may hear some news that kind of is a damper on your plans of some sort. And so when I pull the challenge card, it doesn't mean that I pulled it as a reversed card, but I'm kind of reading it that way. In the upright position, the Page of Wands can be good news. So we could assume this could be bad news, but I don't want to make it too negative because it doesn't have to be something that's horrific. It could simply be something that makes you question what it is that you want to initiate. And I just want to remind you, talking about the tendencies of Virgo, is that it doesn't take much probably to discourage you because you might get a little bit lost in the weeds with details and second guessing yourself. And so really this can be a test to see if you persevere or not. What's coming in is the Five of Cups. This can be mourning the loss of something. So there could be some kind of emotional disappointment that is connected to something that you hear. But the interesting thing about this is that with this card, this woman is turning her back on two cups that are standing upright, which indicates that she may be missing the silver lining. People do that when they react to something not being how they want it. And people do this sometimes because they simply have this, sometimes it can be a rigid mentality where they can't kind of like pivot to something else. They just have to have what they want when they want it. And this is something we need to learn to kind of go with the flow more and not just expect things to just fall into place. We should expect things to fall into place when we, visualizing the outcome. But if they don't, that doesn't just give us license to just give up altogether. And the outcome is the Chariot card. And this is a card of victory. But the black and white sphinxes indicate duality, and that is a part of life. There is the light and the dark, and we have to navigate that. And the Chariot is about being able to transcend these distractions and these opposing forces to do what you want to do. This card is connected to Cancer, so it might be that there's a Cancer person who is connected to this situation, but it ends on a good note. So I hope that you enjoyed this, Virgo. Thanks for watching. If you would like a private reading, check the information box below. Take care. Bye.